Imagine being 19 years old and scoring in the Champions League. Not just scoring, but doing it with the kind of flair and confidence that makes the whole stadium stop for a second. That's Désiré Doué.
On it goes in now to Doué. Doué's in! That is brilliant! Absolutely brilliant!
This kid is one of the most exciting young players in football right now. Every time he touches the ball, you get that feeling, like something's about to happen. He's not just fast, he's not just skilled, it's the way he moves, the way he glides past defenders like they're not even there. It's unpredictable, it's explosive, and it's, well, dynamic. That's why today we're going to break down exactly how you can develop the kind of dribbling style that makes players like Doué so dangerous. But here's something important I need to say right away. You're never going to dribble exactly like Désiré Doué. And that's a good thing. Football isn't about copying someone move for move. It's about understanding the principles behind their style and using them to shape your own game. Doué didn't become the player he is today by trying to copy someone perfectly. Sure, he might have been inspired by players he watched growing up, but over time, he developed his own rhythm, his own way of expressing himself on the pitch. That's what makes his dribbling so exciting to watch. It's unique. And if you want to reach your full potential as a dribbler, you need to do the same thing. So instead of trying to become a carbon copy of Doué, let's figure out what makes his style so special and how you can apply those lessons to create a style that's 100% yours. The first thing you notice about Doué when he dribbles is how smooth he looks. It almost feels like he's floating across the pitch. There's no wasted motion. Every step, every touch, every body movement has a purpose. That's what I mean by dynamic dribbling. It's not about spamming stepovers or forcing skills you've memorized from a YouTube tutorial. It's about fluidity. It's about being unpredictable without looking like you're trying too hard. When you watch Doué, you'll see that sometimes he uses a simple body feint to beat a defender. Other times he'll explode past them with a sudden burst of speed. And other times he'll slow the game down, lull the defender into a false sense of security, and then strike when they least expect it. It's this constant shifting of gears that makes him so hard to defend against. So how do you train that kind of dribbling? It starts with your relationship with the ball. Before we even talk about fancy moves, you need to get to a point where the ball feels like an extension of your body. Think about when you first learned to ride a bike. At first, every little movement felt awkward. You had to focus on pedaling, on steering, on balancing all at once. But after enough practice, you didn't have to think about it anymore, you just rode. That's how dribbling should feel. You don't want to be thinking, okay, now I'm going to touch the ball with the inside of my foot, now the outside, now I'll do a step over. Number, you want it to be automatic. The best way to build that kind of comfort is through free play, playing in the streets, in the park, in tight spaces with your friends. This is how almost every legendary dribbler developed their skills. Messi, Neymar, Ronaldinho, Maradona, they all started by playing in chaotic environments where there were no rules, no coaches yelling instructions, no perfectly lined up cones, just a ball, some space, and opponents who didn't care about structure or tactics. When you play like that, you're forced to adapt on the fly. You learn to think fast, to be creative, and to use your body in ways no drill could ever teach you. If you don't have access to street football or pick-up games, you can still recreate some of that environment in your training. Play small-sided games like 2 versus 2 or 3 versus 3 in a small area. These games naturally create chaos and force you to make quick decisions. You'll develop instincts that will carry over into full matches, and don't be afraid to experiment. Try things, fail. That's how you figure out what works for you. Now let's talk about one of the key elements of Doué's dribbling: deception. Doué isn't the kind of player who needs to do 10 step-overs to fool a defender. Most of the time, he's beating players with subtle movements, like a quick shoulder drop, a sudden change of direction, or a perfectly timed pause before accelerating. It's almost like he's playing mind games with defenders. And that's what great dribblers do. They make defenders commit to the wrong decision. One of the simplest but most effective tools you can use is the body feint. This is the foundation of so many great moves. A good body feint isn't just about moving your upper body a little bit. It's about selling the fake completely. You want the defender to genuinely believe you're going one way, so when you explode in the opposite direction, they're left flat-footed. Practice this in stages. Start slow, without the ball, just focusing on how you shift your weight and move your shoulders, then add the ball and start doing it at jogging speed. Finally, bring it up to match pace and test it out in real games. Another thing that makes Doué so effective is his ability to change speed in an instant. A lot of players dribble at one consistent pace, which makes them predictable. Doué, on the other hand, constantly varies his tempo. He'll slow down to almost a walking pace, making the defender relax for just a moment, and then, boom, he explodes past them with a quick burst of speed. This sudden change of pace is incredibly hard to defend against. You can train this by practicing dribbling drills where you deliberately switch between slow, controlled touches and fast, explosive sprints. Over time, it'll become second nature. Positioning and awareness also play a huge role. Doué isn't just dribbling for the sake of dribbling. Every move he makes has an end goal. Sometimes it's to create space for himself to shoot. Other times, it's to draw defenders in so he can slip a pass to a teammate. When you're dribbling, don't just focus on the defender right in front of you. Keep your head up and be aware of what's happening around you. Where are your teammates? Where's the open space? Where are the defenders shifting to? This awareness allows you to make smarter decisions and makes your dribbling far more dangerous. Now, here's a big mistake a lot of players make. They think they need to know every single skill move to be a great dribbler. They spend hours memorizing 20 different tricks, but in a real game, when the pressure is on, they freeze. The truth is, most top players rely on just 2 or 3 core moves, and they get so good at those moves that they can use them in any situation. For Doué, it might be a quick body feint, a sudden stop and go, or a sharp cut inside. The exact moves don't matter as much as how well you can execute them. So instead of trying to learn every skill in the book, pick 2 or 3 that feel natural to you and practice them until they're second nature. Confidence is the final piece of the puzzle. You can have all the skills in the world, but if you don't believe in yourself, you'll never be able to express them fully on the pitch. This is where mindset comes in. When Doué steps onto the field, he's not thinking, what if I mess up? He's thinking, what can I create today? That's the mindset of a fearless dribbler. One way to build that kind of confidence is to create an alter ego, a version of yourself that only exists on the pitch. Off the field, you might be quiet or reserved, but when the game starts, you switch into a completely different mindset. Cristiano Ronaldo does this, Zlatan Ibrahimovic does this. It's like flipping a switch. This allows you to play without fear, because it's not you making the mistakes, it's the character you've created. At the end of the day, dribbling like Désiré Doué isn't about memorizing his moves or copying his style perfectly. It's about understanding the principles that make him so dangerous: fluidity, unpredictability, deception, and confidence. Combine those elements with hours of practice and a willingness to experiment, and you'll develop a style that's uniquely yours. One day, you'll find yourself in a game where everything just clicks. The ball will stick to your feet, the defenders will seem a step behind, and you'll feel completely free to express yourself. That's when you'll know you've unlocked your version of dynamic dribbling. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one inspiring the next generation of players, just like Désiré Doué is inspiring us right now. So get out there, grab a ball, and start building that connection. Keep it simple, stay fearless, and play with that same love for the game that got you started in the first place.